Welcome to the end of an era and the start of a new era that may, just may, be better. What's on screen here is Burnout Paradise Remastered. What hasn't been on screen since January 22nd, 2018, the 10th anniversary of it, at least on my screen, my YouTube channel screen, is Burnout Paradise, the original version, specifically the PS3 one for me. Because, well, the remastered came out, but it's obvious not everyone who had Burnout Paradise happened to get the remastered. Thus, there are still some people playing the original Burnout Paradise. For whatever reason it may be, but nonetheless, there are. And this is also something that's happening. Burnout Paradise Remastered, yes, it launched. It's good. That's what's on screen now. But the original Burnout Paradise is having its online server shut down August 1st. From what I can tell, that's the final PS3 game that I played specifically that has online servers. And they don't have online servers for very much longer. So I could call it the end of the PS3 era, but really it's not. Skate 3, which obviously, yes, I played that. Still sort of kind of play it when I have a chance to, which is pretty much none now, but for personal reasons I may get into, depending if the personal group of people want that or whatever. I'll see. That's completely different. I haven't really had a chance to play Skate 3 much, but from what I can tell, there's very, very few people playing it. It had its heyday in 2011 and again in like 2014 with U2 and stuff. Now it's dead. Now the only way you can actually play it is do one mode in one skate park, and that's it now to be able to join anyone. It's a husk of itself. Burnout Paradise is not. The last time I played Burnout Paradise the original online, there were still maybe 50 people total playing on the PS4 in the American servers. There was one room that still did races that had about 4 people in it. There was one room that, by the time I entered it, had the full amount of 8 people. That was just free for all. There was another room that had about 6 people in it that was doing challenges. And remember, this is for the original Burnout Paradise, not the remastered. Granted, the last time I played the game was January 20-something, 20th, 21st, something like that, 2018. To essentially get footage for the 10th anniversary. So maybe there were more people on because Burnout Paradise Remastered was rumored at that time, and it was becoming the 10th anniversary. But from what I can tell, there's still, at least between all the platforms, all the regions, hundreds of people still play it daily. Well, granted, the game sold millions of copies. Hundreds of people daily doing the full variety of online options is still not bad for an almost 12-year-old game. EA shutting down servers, though I can't really be all that mad at them, because, well, the remastered exists. They made an option for that for people to move to. Some people financially might not be able to, but nonetheless, the option is there. There's still no option for moving on from Skate 3. Granted, EA hasn't fully shut down those servers, but you can't join the teams. The only thing you can do is the actual online modes now. You can't play on a team. You can't look at the leaderboards. It's pretty much dead. But there's been rumors of skate games for a long time. But moving to Burnout, well, the rumor of the remastered happened roughly 6 months before it happened, and then it truly did. Something that's also been rumored for quite a long time wasn't exactly the original Burnout Paradise servers ending. That's straight up sad. Sort of kind of it's the end of the PS3 era for me, but really it's kind of looking like it's the end of the arcade style smash 'em up type game. But a rumor that's been happening for a whole heck of a heap of a long time now, really since 2011 or 12, sort of kind of the heyday of Burnout Paradise, really, is the next car game coming out. Quite literally, that's what it was called for a bit. Next car game. AKA what it's been since 2013-14-ish. Wreckfest. Now, doesn't that sound like something that happens in Burnout Paradise? It's essentially a Wreckfest when you play it online. That's kind of what's shown on the screen here. That's tourism right yonder. Wreckfest, from what I can tell, doesn't have any open world aspects, but it's sort of looking like it's going to be a better damage model with somewhat realistic racing. Well, Burnout, all the games, not just Paradise, is pretty much straight up arcade. It's looking like Wreckfest is going to have the best of both worlds. So that's why I'm calling it a new era. Because, yeah, you can play it as arcade smash 'em up just like Burnout Paradise, which is sadly ending. Or you can continue to play Burnout Paradise Remastered for who knows how long. Wreckfest, the new era, has a lot of aspects of Burnout that a whole heap of people have liked now for darn near 20 years. Plus, new aspects too. From what I can tell, you can actually race realistically in it, because the damage model can actually be straight up realistic. That's why the damage model is actually so good, because every part of your car can fall off or explode or be mangled or whatever it may be. Well, it can look cool. You don't necessarily have to make it look cool. You can race realistic as well. So, that's something that's happening. Not just on PC, which its demo has been around since 2011 or so, as I said. The full game's been around for a while now, too. I can't remember exactly when it came out, but it's a year or so-ish, I think. Console is finally getting Wreckfest. A full version, not a demo. It's getting the whole thing on August 27th. How it's going to run on a standard PS4, what I have, I don't know. I want to know. I don't think there's any footage released yet for how it plays on a standard PS4. But I'll say this, I'm not expecting anything crazy. 30 FPS, I'm not even going to attempt to expect more. I pretty much guarantee it ain't going to be 60. What's on screen here is 60 FPS. Wreckfest will probably be 30. But I can't tell that much of a difference between 30 and 60. As long as it ain't lower than like 20 or something, I'll be perfectly fine with it. I'm not so sure out of current consoles, especially standard versions of them, like not the Pro or the S for Xbox users, are gonna run Wreckfest. Burnout Paradise Remastered runs magnificently. There's literally no lag in online. I don't know how, but EA has actually made a game with no lag in online. Granted, it's essentially a 12-year-old game. They got remastered for the modern systems, so it kind of shouldn't, but still, I've never seen an EA game not lag online, except for this one. Quite amazing. But it's somewhat off subject, because the new subject being Wreckfest, yeah, I mean, I have a hunch it's online is probably not going to be the most stable in the world, especially for standard console with my internet. But it's happening. And that's why I say the new era may just may be better. It may end up being underwhelming, especially compared to the PC version, but at least it's happening. At least there is looking like there's a new era of the smash 'em up type game with really good damage modeling. That surely is a new era because it has a lot of realism in it too. Am I expecting Wreckfest to be as world-changing as Burnout Takedown, Burnout 3, whatever, or Burnout Paradise? No, but as I said in my top 10 video games of all time list, could I actually see it having honorable mention as one of my favorite games of all time? Yes. Because I sort of rate games as when they come of the time. I mean, essentially, Wreckfest's first time was 9 years ago, or 8 years ago almost, 8 years. So rating it of the time is, I mean, it's not going to get the highest rating in the world just because it's probably not going to function all that well in the modern systems. If Wreckfest would have been able to happen on a console 6-7 years ago, it'd probably be one of my favorite games of all time. But yeah, it has been delayed so much now, it's probably not going to be the most technically stunning thing as it would have been back then. But it still should probably run smoother than it would have been back then. As the company said themselves, they're doing it to make the game great and not just sell good. Like, it's pretty obvious Wreckfest isn't going to sell tons just because of when it's coming out. It's coming out at the end of the PS4 era, and it's probably not even going to run that good on a PS4. Probably best overall to wait for Wreckfest PS5 if it happens, but we've been waiting this long now, and I'm still interested to see what the modern era looks like. I would definitely get Wreckfest when it comes out, but I'm still tentative about how it will truly play. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe it'll be amazing. I mean, the devs did say they're going to work on it till they thought it was amazing, but I assume they were also working on it on a PS4 Pro / Xbox One S or X or whatever the modern one's called, the newest one. I have hope, but my expectations are pretty low. It's not like GT Sport where I hoped for more than what truly happened and then now kind of disappointed. Only just now is GT Sport getting to the point of with some actually starting to get kind of happy with it. Wreckfest, I'm happy-ish, but I'm not really expecting to get more than happy-ish. Burnout Paradise was as close to flawless as was realistically expected throughout. It sucks that its online's ending, but it's lasted for almost 12 years. That's amazing for the vast, vast majority of games. Especially non-pay-per-month type games. And it's EA we're talking about, too. But to be honest, EA doesn't get the credit it deserves for keeping some games online. Like Skate 3 still kind of has online. Burnout Paradise still has online for a little bit longer. There's a lot more games out there, too, like old Need for Speeds and such. I mean, for instance, Need for Speed Underground 2, a PS2 game, had online. It was one of the few games you could actually play online. I vaguely remember doing it. EA is terrible in a lot of ways, but actually keeping some of their games online are not too terrible at. But nonetheless, it's video. Wreckfest is made by THQ, who I remember from the old MX vs. ATV games. They were the jack of all trades, masters of none, as I said in the top 10 games of all time. MX vs. ATV Unleashed was essentially the Crew 2, 15 years earlier. Crew 2, jack of all trades, master of none, kind of the same thing. This MX vs. ATV Unleashed happened first, so it was better. Burnout Paradise happened first, so I think it will be better. Probably a more equal comparison would be Burnout 3. It happened first, so it'll be better than Wreckfest. But I still think Wreckfest would definitely be an interesting take on the Smash 'em Up games, with a realistic touch in it as well. And honestly, I'm very much looking forward to playing it. Am I looking forward to it being the greatest game in the world? No, but could I be pleasantly surprised? Possibly. Am I expecting to be? No, but it'll still be worth checking out in my eyes. Burnout Paradise, sad that it's ending, but it's honestly not all that unexpected. The remastered is here, and it's been around for almost 12 years. But could maybe, just maybe, be unexpected is how well Wreckfest is on consoles. Maybe, just maybe, not guaranteeing anything, but who knows. For now, it's a tentative yeehaw, and I'm not expecting it to be that much more, but it could. Just maybe be worth even more of a yeehaw in the future. Yeehaw.